we left Bastion. We left Bastion, and
on our way to Lamplight.
On our way to Lamplight, we got to the keep for some rest. We have like 8 more days here before we need to be in Lamplight to meet up with Toad. We got to the keep. I did a mix of brooding and working on stuff.
Mostly brooding.
And trying to figure out what was going on. We found out we have a baby griffin who is bonded with Pontius.
Everyone's bestest friend!
Which is awesome as shit. And the goblins have been teaching it how to hunt, which is also great. Everything's been pretty normal at the keep, which was good to know.
Until Harsk and Krieger went hunting. Or looking after the goblins who were going hunting.
Right. The goblins took the griffin to go hunt. You guys followed. They found a bear in a bear cave. And then there was a big fight with a creepy, green, drippy bear.
Little fight.
And then...
Little bit.
Krieger barehanded fucked that bear up.
That's right. And then you guys found some creepy, glowy, drippy green mushrooms, which should have been normal, but weren't normal. You guys brought those back, which I checked out. And we have deduced. That the scar is leaking and seeping like into the groundwater kind of thing.
The mushrooms were afflicted with, or enchanted with the corrosive weapon enchantment.
Right.
You can't do that on food.
You can't do that with food. It's bad. So yeah, and that's where we landed.
It's not that it's bad; it's that the magic doesn't work.
Right. So
if you use bite as an attack, does that technically like corrode your teeth?
Magic. Magic.
No.
Let's say yes. But yeah. Anyway.
I'm going to say if you can manage to put the corrosive weapon enchantment on your teeth, which is a thing that is possible, the part of the enchantment is the protection, super thick enamel on your own little...
on your own teeth.
Perfect.
Yeah. Hope you drink full.
Or I'll just give you dentures or something.
There you go.
Whee!
Dentures of corrosive bite.
Nice.
The side effect, it gives you liver spots.
Only have to chew once.
Done. I didn't even have to digest.
Job's done.
Job's done.
So, yeah. Everyone's back at Keep It's dinner time.
Food. Well, shit, guys. What should we do?
Make the keep great again?
Make the keep great again. Keep's always been great.
We've had a wall since the beginning.
We've had a wall from the beginning.
We didn't even pay for it.
We didn't even pay for it. It was great.
Make the ancestors pay for it.
Goblins paid for it.
Hey, a bunch of dead fucking people paid for it. You give a shit. So yeah. Fuck, guys. Alright, so we obviously have to figure out a way to deal with the scar. Well, that's a pretty big fucking deal. And I don't even... Would I know anything possibly that could fix that? I mean, it's kind of a random, unknown, new thing, right? Do I have any idea of what potentially could fix it? I mean, that's like a mass dispelling of...
The only thing that occurs to you is having the biggest null magic field or anti-magic field you've ever heard of. That would do it.
That would do it.
But that's also just like saying nuke it for more, but it's the only way to be sure. How are you going to get your hands on that?
Ooh. I have a horrible idea, guys.
And so the next plot hook began. Or plot arc, I should say.
I have a horrible, horrible idea. We could go fucking talk to,
Starling?
No.
Branson?
No.
What was his name?
Brazen?
Starling.
Not Brazen. The dude from the other dimension. This is like totally up his alley. Creating something that creates a giant anti-magic field. Like, that
is a good idea.
We could totally go fucking do that.
Would you be able to get back to that dimension?
Bring us back there, Mir. Let's go.
I can't do that.
There had to be something that is vivid in your mind.
Actually, DM question. I rolled a really good spellcraft check when I checked out the scroll that brought us there originally. That Shyla gave us. Would I know how to like replicate that?
You can write the words down.
Shit.
But no, you cannot replicate a 9th level spell.
Okay. That's fine. As long as you.
But no, I appreciate many things. One, that thought occurred to you. It's a good thought. And you remembered Shyla's name. I appreciate that too.
Alright. I don't think I could get us back there. Not without help. If we could find Shyla, potentially we could get back there.
Dude, what happened to Shyla again?
She left.
Disappeared. Oh, she just left.
Yeah. We got back and she snuck out and left.
What about the portal that we arrived in Bastion in? Was there a...
Well, there was no portal behind it. We just got thrown out.
Shunted is a good word for
Yeah,
it.
we could go back to see if there was some remnant thing, but even if there is, I'm pretty sure that tower was falling down when we left.
Well, the portal's still there. It's 300 feet up.
I can survive it.
I got this. So yeah, that's probably a bad idea. Plus, I don't want to have to fucking walk 2 miles in the other direction through whatever remnant of crazy cultist shit that was to get to the pyramid in the first place.
It's easy. We'll just bring Toad. He'll kill everything.
Hagen. Hagen was his name.
It was.
Hagen.
Fuck. Yeah. Hagen would be down for this, I think.
It would be a unique challenge for him. Do you think, is there any way that we could call Hagen? Or, like, reach out to him?
I was just thinking that. I wonder if there's a way to, like...
Is Mananan familiar with, like, other dimensions?
I don't
No.
think so. Yeah.
No.
I wonder if there's some form of, like, scry across dimensions, like...
We do
like
have something
telephone.
that he created in our possession.
Some scrying spells do allow you to cross dimensions.
Oh, and I have the page from his book.
Krieger's armor was in.
No, you have the page from your book.
Also, the armor.
Well, no, he had the original one. He tore it out of his book and gave it to me.
Mm-hmm. And then you realize it fits
It's
your
it's
book.
his- right.
No,
Well, I thought the red page was from his book, but his book was full of those red pages.
it was, but
Okay. But then he
you
gave
put
me-
it in your book, and it just kind of fits.
became part of it. Yeah.
So there's no remnants of him touching it at all? It's just
He might.
weird state.
Oh, it might still, but you also have to keep in mind.
Yeah, and Krieger's armor too.
No, the shield.
The shield.
The armor he found elsewhere.
Yeah.
The shield with your special ability, that's what he changed.
Yeah, he just modified your shield.
The armor you
but
found in the
still,
scar.
That's still enough.
Oh, you're
Big
right.
purple worm. Rawr.
Yep.
We could. We could head.
Yeah.
We could head back to our good old homestead lamplight. See if we can find Moon Eye or
we
something.
gotta get over there anyway.
Yeah, we do.
That could be a day trip. Just poof. Okay, there you are. Poof. Back.
What's the closest town to the Scar?
Bryn.
Is it Silverton or it's Bryn?
It's Bryn.
Can I? No, I can't do that. Because it's only 60 feet. I want to take, because it only takes like a couple hours to go down to where the lake is.
Yeah.
In the morning, I'm going to take a trip down to the lake, and I'm going to do like a detect magic as much as I can, towards the ground and in the lake. I want to see if the Scar has leached down far enough to affect the town.
Well, also, too, that kind of has me thinking, you said that the scar itself is less active, it's not spitting out as much, correct?
I don't remember saying that.
Is it
Oh,
though?
okay.
Is it
Yeah,
is it
just-
still like blowing up and shooting things off, or is that mellowed?
That's mellowed, likely because most of these surface objects have been spent.
Okay.
But there's still like
Lots of activity.
an
in it.
oozing aura about it, where there's
Okay.
just magic seeping out.
Okay, it's still just as dangerous as ever.
It's dangerous in a different way. Like
Magic Chernobyl.
It's
It's not going away anytime soon.
I love Magic Chernobyl.
the fires after the mushroom cloud have gone out, but if you go there, it's still not a good day.
Okay.
Mananan, can you sense magical auras?
To an extent, sir.
Like you've been getting stronger. How far out can you? Do you sense what's going on from the scar? I mean, the cave
No.
wasn't that far, right?
No, the cave wasn't that far away at all.
Okay. But so you can't sense anything weird going on like under the ground of magical auras of any kind, right?
I can only sense as far as the foundations.
I see. Okay. Perfect.
They are as solid as ever.
Okay. That's good. As long as the cave's not in like danger of corroding away, that's a good thing.
As far as I can tell, it's as sturdy as it's ever been.
Oh shit.
How far away from as far as I can tell, oh my gosh. From the cave where the bear was, how far away was that from the scar?
You're not far from the scar anywhere on this mountain.
Okay.
You know what I just had a thought of though? If we do get a big enough field to get rid of all the magic, to get out far enough to get rid of the stuff that's leached out this far, the keep's probably going to be inside that radius. Which means magic won't work inside the keep. Which is fine as far as like a keep goes, but it also means that like I can't do anything. Like if we get attacked again in the keep, like I can't do shit. And our magical wards of, fire and magic missile won't work either. We would literally be down to like just purely physicality. Granted, anybody who comes in here also is that way, but
I don't see the problem.
it's worrying for me. But I would much rather deal with the scar than let everything go because I'm pretty sure it's going to start affecting other stuff.
Oh, you know what? What about the Cyclops?
The Cyclopes.
Cyclops.
The Cyclopides.
Right?
I apologize. Cyclopides was what we coined them as.
Cyclopides.
The Cyclopides.
The cyclopodes.
The
Cyclops.
Yeah, we could go talk to them. At least we could have, because they could scry, right? One of them could scry. With that one eye. For scry.
I scry with my single eye.
Cyclopides.
But why?
To find Hagen. But why? Oh, I get it.
I got you.
Maybe I'll go down by the bay and eat some hay. What do you say? I just may.
That sounds gay.
One just walks up. Nay.
Nay.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Produced by Michael Bay.
Nice. All right. So yeah, in the morning, because it's nighttime now, or it's dinner.
It's evening, yeah.
In the morning, I'm gonna go down to the lake, and maybe stop in Bryn to see if anybody's heard anything, or if anything's weird going on in the town. Because at the very least, if nothing's going on, I don't want to worry anybody. But if things are going on, I want to warn everybody. That seems backwards. But yeah.
Hey guys, you know how all this weird shit's happening?
Never mind.
I'm here to warn you about it. Your back just got punched twice.
Okay. So yeah, that's my plan for now. But yeah, I like the idea of trying to create some kind of giant anti-magic field. There's no real thing we could go do to like get rid of it.
Yeah, at least not without a little help.
Create 1,000 anti-magic scrolls.
Well,
Read them in unison.
dispel magic, if it's an area thing or a weapon or an item that's enchanted, it only lasts for a certain amount of time. It doesn't actually, like, nullify the magic. If I'm remembering that right.
The anti-magic field is a temporary spell, yes. It can be made permanent by various means.
Right. I'm specifically talking about the spell Dispel Magic.
Oh, right, yes.
That is only temporary.
Yes.
So even if I went through... If I kept trying to go in and dispelling all the magic we found, it would only last for
The
a
weaker
few minutes at best.
weaker items or broken items you could probably disenchant it.
And get rid of
Or
it
dispel it.
permanently. But the other bigger problematic things, which is probably what we're dealing with mostly, I'm not going to be able to get rid of that. We would need to create some kind of permanent wipe it out ability.
Some sort of concrete dome. But then they would crack and you'd have to build a bigger concrete dome to put
Originally,
over
the
the dome.
dragon's treasures, right?
Yep.
They wouldn't know anything to do with it.
Which dragon?
Know what to do about it? Like, all this stuff is essentially, like, treasure and stuff, and a lot of Brazen's
Yep.
treasure got eaten.
Brazen's hordes down there.
You think he would have any idea on how to get rid of
Brazen? Definitely.
all of them? Yeah.
Yeah. Where's he at?
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
we could try to find
he
Brazen.
boogied last time.
We could try to find Brazen. We could use the Cyclops. We could go to the Cyclopedies and try to find Brazen. We still have the...
Cyclops.
We still have the, Jesus Christ.
Wrong dude.
We still have the other piece of the thing that we used to talk to him with.
The sparrow?
Yeah. No. It
No.
wasn't a sparrow. It was that he gave us an item so we could talk, but when I tried to use it after it all fell,
Yep.
there was nothing on the other side.
That's right.
But that's still something he had actual interaction with. We could use it to try to scry on him. And if we could find him, we might be able to ask him how we could get rid of it.
We could.
It's kind of, yeah, it'd be nice if we found Brazen, because he just boogied right after that happened, and we haven't seen anything from him since.
Well, that we know of. Either that or he died. I mean, that's always a possibility. He could be dead. We haven't tried to find him. I mean, dragons are dragons, but, in a smaller form, getting hit by a fucking mountain is gonna hurt regardless.
Unless he turned into an armadillo.
There's that too.
Oddly specific.
There's just this really bronzed
Armadillo.
armadillo.
I'm in a ball.
They just,
You can't hurt me. I'm in a
As
ball.
we're having this conversation just through the open door out to the courtyard and then through the portcullis. There's just this bronze armadillo that like stops for a second and then scurries away into a hole. What the fuck? So yeah, you guys want to do that? I can go down and check the town tomorrow morning.
If that doesn't work, Haagen-Dazs.
Haagen-Dazs.
Hagen.
Oh, Hagen. Hagen-Dazs. Got it. Yeah. All right. I'm down for that. Plan?
Sounds good.
We'll do that.
All right.
All right. So yeah, I would like to just eat and then sleep and then kind of contemplate why the fuck I never actually take a break in the times that I'm allowed a break.
Wizard's work is never done?
We could just take a fucking week, guys. Take a couple days. No, fuck that.
I would
Seriously,
like to go
fuck that.
swimming down at the lake with the goblins.
Like overnight?
Like a day trip.
Question.
No, not overnight.
From the start of this campaign, how much time has passed? It's like we've actually started?
4 weeks.
No. So here's the thing.
The busiest year ever.
That's a different answer for Harsk than it is for the others.
That's true.
That's true.
Because you were dead.
The time,
Yeah.
there's that.
And it's been 3 months longer for you than it has been for us.
It's now fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
That's why I said it's fall.
Instead of winter coming.
What comes after fall.
That's what comes after fall.
Winter.
Winter is coming next after fall. That's why.
Yeah, that's how.
Why'd you say it all weird like
That's
that?
how seasons work.
The seasons work every year.
Tide goes in, tide goes out. Winter comes.
You can't explain that.
Can't explain that.
Fucking idiot.
All right.
He used to be a teacher.
Make gravity great again.
All right. So, yeah.
Cool.
That's my battle
So-
plan. Unless anybody else has any other
Some
ideas.
Paul Manafort, that MAGA. My ass got arrested.
Mm-hmm. So the evening passes. The last few nights, there's been kind of a yellowish, reddish glow to the night sky in Bastion, as there are some places that are still on fire. Other parts is just lights of oil lamps and stuff like that.
In Bastion?
In Bastion. So you had that typical kind of yellowish city glow about it. Down here at the keep, the kind of ambient atmosphere, it's blues and greens as light is still emanating from the magical crater in a very not too distant landscape. So it's kind of an eerie, almost aurora borealis kind of look to the night sky here. It's a different feel, but it's still home. So you guys can conk out pretty readily, knowing that you're reasonably safe here.
Sweet. That's something we haven't had in a while.
Harsk, since you're no longer sleeping in a tent, you have an actual hearth in your room, which is nice. So you kind of keep a little fire going for a bit.
And you're alive.
And you're alive, and your bed has padding.
Perfect.
So
This is so good.
it's just a good night.
Yeah, that kind of sucks for Hearts, because we immediately brought him back and then immediately left. Hey, we got back, here's your shit, gotta go!
Right. Peace.
So yeah.
No, this is great. This is glorious. I forgot how fantastic this keep was.
You know what's awesome? Being comfortable.
Not being fear for my life every time I close my eyes.
A day off.
Being alive is so nice.
Yeah. Krieger, you have your 2 armor stands, one with your demonic, all spiky clawed armor, the other with a tangerine orange suit. Question for Krieger: what have you done with your previous set of armor?
I didn't think about that.
There's a 3rd armor stand with that one. He's got like fucking Iron Man's armoring
Let's
on.
do that.
Okay, so yeah, it's kind of a progression
I like it.
thing. You left the old stuff just as
Mark
beat up as it ever
one.
was, and yeah,
I'm gonna need you to cast Mage Armor on the orange suit.
Ooh. That might be a cool idea. Could we enchant his suit with mage armor?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then when you're wearing
No,
the mage armor, you could still have an armor count.
Yeah, actually, if you enchant it, I mean, it's nice. It's nicely enough made. It could probably count as masterwork. So you could technically enchant it to be like a +1 robe, except it's a +1 suit.
Dude.
What?
I'm gonna read some shit right now.
So yeah. Oh, my Charlie girl, she's so good. Here she is. Hello, face.
Actually read a concept on making Iron Man.
Yeah.
In Pathfinder.
Oh, nice.
I don't remember, it wasn't a summoner, it was a psionic?
Probably is.
Or basically they cast it on themselves and it's a being that goes on the outside.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Mesmer?
No, I don't think that was it.
Okay.
That's
If I think of
A
it,
that's
synthesist?
so cool.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a summoner. That's an archetype of summoner. Synthesists are bullshit.
Oh, by the way, I had another horrible idea. I mean, originally all this stuff was being held in a mimic, right? So what if we went and got a bunch of mimics?
Put it back in the box!
They just ran around eating all the magic items, right? Like, they'd eat all the magic. That would be a thing that they wanted to do.
Every 25 feet, we put a jar of holding into a jar of holding. Next.
Good.
Or
Excuse
you
me,
just go
I need all the portable holes you have.
Every portable hole you have in stock. Run! It looks like there was some ancient wizard battle here. No, we were just cleaning up and we were really lazy.
Cast prestidigitation all over it.
Right.
It'll go away.
Cool. So, evening passes very comfortably and peacefully. Hello, boys.
Krieger gets up at the butt crack of dawn before everybody
Okay,
to take the goblins swimming.
nice. Picturing that X-Men comic from the 90s.
There are no women though.
No, so it's Krieger in a bikini.
An orange bikini.
Borat bikini.
Yeah, there you go.
Bright orange.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, so you're going actually down to the lake as well?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, you kick the goblins and be like, come on, we're going.
We're going swimming.
And Krieger before it's even light out, do you bring like a fishing pole or just going swimming?
Picnic basket.
Okay. Full of donuts?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're welcome. Picnic basket full of donuts, and Krieger with 4 goblins in tow decide to head on down to the lake to go swimming. Are you just walking?
Yep.
Okay.
No, he's rambling.
I should take Pontius with me though. I'm gonna take Pontius.
Okay.
And the griffin!
Well, the griffin's gonna follow Pontius.
Yes.
Of course.
Where are we? Where are we going?
We're going swimming. Like people.
Okay.
You can swim, right?
I don't know.
You can swim.
I can horsey paddle.
Good. I will teach you.
Okay. So yeah, the fun part is that no one rides Pontius. Everyone's just walking.
Right. He's people. You don't
Right.
ride people.
Exactly. Piggyback ride. So yeah, eventually Harsk and Meard do wake up, and there's breakfast.
Yeah.
Bananan greets Meard first thing in the morning. Sir,
Yeah?
Mr. Krieger has taken the goblins swimming.
Down to the lake?
Yes, he's taken the horse and the griffin as well.
He took the wanted horse to Bryn. Awesome. It's great. Like old
From
times.
my understanding, sir, the horse is only wanted in Sweetwater.
That's true.
But-
Alright.
Oh, and I believe he left this for you, sir. Give me a sense motive check. And Krieger, give me a profession cooking check.
On banana.
No.
20.
20?
Ooh. Hold on. If I don't have any points in it, do I get the 3?
No. You need to rank in it first to get the +3.
Okay. Do I have my modifier?
Yes, you sure do.
Oh, it has a star, so never mind. 18.
The profession cook?
Mhm.
The profession shouldn't have a star.
Yes. Right there.
Okay. I believe you. Oh, yeah, it totally does.
Yeah.
So what'd you get?
18.
18?
Still good roll.
That's good.
Great roll.
Not better than a 20.
That's true. But no, it looks like there's a wizard hat-shaped donut or like croissant thing waiting for you.
Cool. Nothing horrible, just goofy.
Here's a goofy.
Cool.
And Harsk is a person shape, only it's flattened and red.
Okay. There's a nice raspberry compote just kind of smeared across this flat elephant's ear-like thing.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
I'm seeing Patrick move. And
Yeah.
his mouth move.
Right.
There's no noise coming out.
So, yeah, apparently Krieger was up at the butt crack of dawn making some personalized baked goods for everybody. And Mananan does deliver them first thing in the morning. But, yeah. Cool. So, a lot of you go down to the lake. Mr. Meard, Mr. Harsk, what are you guys doing?
I eat my wizard hat donut thing, and I talk to Harsk before I leave. I prepare my spells, my normal spells for the day, and I tell Harsk that I'm going to head down. Did you want to come with me down to the lake to check things out, or are you going to stay here? Or?
Yeah, do you feel like you'll need an extra pair of hands just in case? The bear took us by surprise, so I want to make sure.
Yeah, with the creepy shit that's going on, I think it would probably be good.
Well, yeah, I'll come with you, no worries.
Alright, cool. I mean, I could probably also teleport there, like, maybe to the manor, but I don't want to blow the spell just because I'm lazy.
You aren't that a flippant a wizard yet.
After the event yesterday, I do want to make sure I have, like, actual armor.
Sure.
Yeah.
That works. So cool. Some hours after the initial party left, Meard and Harsk also just walking, or are you going to ride Lady and Farfelkugel?
I think I'm just going to walk. Unless you want to take the horses.
Yeah.
Okay, so just walking.
Nah.
Okay.
I could also summon us mounts if we wanted to. But.
So, alright. I would like survival checks from everybody for different reasons.
Nice. Yeah.
16.
24.
Nice. As Krieger's making a beeline for the lake and not for the town, you go a different path than you have previously. What you do is, or what you find, is a nice little swimming hole. It's right at the base of the mountains where the mountains plunge into the lake. So there's a very large rock about 10 to 15 feet off the shore where it's still kind of shallow. And then on the other side of the rock, there's like this big drop off into the deeper part of the lake.
Perfect for diving.
Exactly. There's a colossal oak tree that just kind of hangs over the entire thing.
Well,
Nice. So, great tree for climbing, and it just kind of hangs over the lake. And it's probably deep enough for the goblins to leap out of the tree into the water. If Krieger were to do it, he'd probably hit something on the ground on the bottom. But there's also a little stream that kind of meanders into the lake right at this point as well. You can actually see the keep from here, as the western shore of the lake like I said, it's just the mountain plunges down into the lake, and so it's not pure cliff, but it's kind of steps up, and then you see the keep kind of up at the top.
All right.
Some smoke coming out of the chimney, and it occurs to Krieger that everyone is likely having breakfast at this point. You can tell it's going to be a hot day. It's still early fall, but it's going to be a toasty day. So, good day for swimming.
Yep, just swimming, fucking around.
Yep.
Trying to see if goblins can catch fish in the lake.
Ponchester starts trotting around, eating some of the grass, like right at the lake shore. The griffin is somewhat mesmerized by the sun kind of sparkling off the water, and the griffin's like diving into the water in spots and like in the shallows. It's kind of splashing around, just leaping at all the shiny stuff.
How much would you say the griffin weighs?
It's still a very small griffin. So,
Charlie size?
yeah, about a dog-sized. Like a good-sized dog-sized.
I like that I call them Pontius.
Hmm?
Or her.
Yeah. Are you Pontius? I wish you could talk. Then you'd probably never shut up. Then you would guilt me so much more for going to work every day.
Oh, God. You're leaving for work again?
Again? Can you take me with you?
You're going to put me in the
Look,
cage again?
I have a 4-year-old. She does that every day.
Can you stay home? No, I need to go to work. Again?
You want to eat food today?
Yes, I have to go to work, honey. Can you stay just for a little bit and then go?
God damn it, go away, child. I'm gonna start getting up at fucking 5 o'clock and leaving at 6 just so I don't have to listen to this.
Charlie just stands in the way. She'll block the stairs, saying, "No, you can't go. I'm in the way forever."
Haley, stop doing that. She doesn't run it. She used to run in front of the door and try to stop.
Push.
It's like,
I pick you up by the neck, put you down over there. And then...
My kids just say bye.
It's because your kids are older.
We were always like that. We very care.
Yeah, they don't like you. It's okay.
don't leave us here with Mom.
Oh, my daughter like that shit.
But yeah, so the goblins immediately take to trying to fish. So they grab a bunch of sticks, sharpen them up real quick, and they're starting to kind of spread out and look for stuff to eat, catching frogs or whatever else. Yeah.
What is weird?
Exactly.
Oh, we're just walking.
Right. You guys had your. What did Harst get for that survival check?
16.
Okay. You guys do find the same path that they traveled down. It's not hard considering how trampled it is. Also, you find the human tracks with the 4 barefoot goblinoid tracks, along with a horse that seems to be stalked by the smallest lion you've ever seen. So it's a very specific set of tracks that are relatively easy to follow.
Nice.
So let's just go with this cluster. So yeah, you eventually do find that same swimming hole, like on the northwest corner of the lake. It's a cool little secluded spot.
This whole time while we were walking down, can I just periodically fire off
A fireball spell, yes.
Yes. No, just to detect magic.
Sure.
Just as we're coming down the mountain, and then
Sure.
see anything else seeping.
You haven't noticed anything nothing like glowing mushrooms or anything like that up here,
Right.
luckily. What you have noticed down in Bryn is that Bryn has gotten bigger.
Just size bigger or more expanded.
Yeah, Mario World 7. Everything's giant now. No.
I wanted to clarify.
Yeah, no.
No.
I'm going to this fucking place.
Have I gotten tiny or has it gotten big?
Oh shit.
This brothel's gonna be awesome.
No.
think I'm having a stroke.
No, the town has grown a lot in the past few months over the summer, considering the new tourist trade of the new natural wonder of or horror of the world, depending on how your perspective on it is.
Nice.
It's one thing that kind of sticks out is that there's a very rapidly growing tower on the west side of town
Okay.
that can only be populated by some population of magic users, likely of the wizarding type.
That's just in the town. There's a sect of that now.
There's a tower that's it was erected relatively quickly out of wood, so it's not like a grand wizard tower, but it's very clearly designed as an observatory.
I set it on fire.
Very clearly designed by wizards, because only wizards would build a tower that looks like that.
Right. Good to know.
The town is definitely expanding to the west. The manor's still far enough away, but the town is kind of growing into that same area. Just as
Let's get closer to the big glowy thing.
the town is full of academics and adventurers looking to get rich. It's a gold rush.
Yeah.
It's a weird, fucked up, magical gold rush.
Stay away from our gold rush. That's ours.
I made this. It's mine.
I mined it.
But yeah, so the town's growing a lot. It's noticeable.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
Oh, nothing. It froze on me for a second, so I just want to make sure you guys could hear me.
Yeah, you're good. It hiccuped for a second, but we're good. So, yeah, you guys make it to the lake. After a couple hours, after what you assumed they were having breakfast, you've been down here 3-4 hours now.
What
Just
did
kind of
you say the circumference of the lake was?
several miles.
Or at least the swimming hole that we're in.
Oh, the swimming hole part? Well, the lake itself is big enough to be seen on a map easily. So it's a huge, huge lake.
But the swimming hole is kind of sectioned off.
Yeah, it opens up into the main lake, but it's a nice little secluded area in the woods. So the area that you would call your swimming hole is probably a good, 100 yards.
Oh, fuck. So it's big.
Yeah. Well, no, it's all still part of the main lake.
I was going to have Mirror make a hot tub. Smaller.
Ah.
Could I use prestidigitation to warm it up a little bit?
No.
No.
What would Mirror do? 2 or 3 flaming spheres down at the bottom.
You get the bubbles going.
The whole lake? Or just this one?
There's
little-
a
smaller-
swimming hole.
There's a small little lagoonish area that you could easily do that with.
It's okay. We don't need to.
I'll do it if you want me to. I have it prepared.
But yeah, a couple hours
I know
After-
you do.
a few hours into your trip, the Harsk and Mir join you as Simon is doing backflips off of the big rock.
You see that? I taught him that.
It's quite hilarious because it's the backflip isn't so much him curling into a ball and then splashing into the water. It's more like he leaps and then his body rotates around his head and then the head careens into the water.
It's even bigger if you think of the goblins how I do. That's Mike from Monsters Inc.
There's that.
Just around. So he's a ball jumping and spinning.
Right.
Doesn't matter how hard I try, goblins do not equal that bank that I got to.
Right.
They equal
That
mine.
only makes me want to have Krieger try to just skip me over the water.
You can.
You should
But
try
I don't
jumping
trust
in.
the leg
Oh,
yet.
dude, throw the griffin, right? And then Harsk's like, oh, throw me in, and then he just skips.
Nice.
Would you like to go?
I don't trust the water yet. Otherwise, I would.
Krieger just sneaks up behind him. Go!
He doesn't know yet.
No, he doesn't know.
No, technically, none of us know.
Are you guys going to come swimming?
Not yet. Not sure about this lake.
No, I don't want to swim.
As he sits down near, on a stump with his book open.
But I want to do another detect magic into the water.
Okay.
All emo like. Angsty.
In the shade with his hood
I'm
up.
also checking out the goblins to see, because I'm assuming they've been swimming
Yes.
while we've been coming over here. So I want to kind of just observe if they're having any side effects from being in the water.
No, they're goblins.
Based
okay.
on my math, 1,000 gold. With 1,000 gold, I can turn your orange suit into a permanent mage armor.
Good to know. So, I would like to do a stealth check. Add 5 to that.
Okay.
That is for a stealth check. Shove Harsk into the water.
Okay. So, as Harsk is observing the goblins, I rolled for you because it's.
The best part is you said self check, and I'm assuming it rolled really well, and you showed Matt the stealth check, and then it just cut off for a second.
Good.
And then
Good.
until after you stopped describing what the stealth was.
It's working. Awesome. This is great. Good job buffering.
It's so fucking meta.
So, as Harsk is observing the goblins, kind of looking for side effects, and like Simon, come here, and you just kind of grab his cheeks and start prying his mouth open, just looking because he's mostly mouth, so why not? You feel very strong hands grab onto your breastplate, and your feet are no longer on the ground, so your toes instinctively curl just to try to grab the earth again. I need a strength check.
8.
Okay. So, well, that's going to change that.
Wouldn't that be a CMB?
If it was combat, yeah. Did you still add your strength modifier?
Yeah.
Okay. And you still got the 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you roll a 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So your feet come off the ground, your toes curl, and your nose gets perilously close to the mud. And all of a sudden, you're now traveling forward. And instead of just splashing into the muck, somewhat on your face, you just kind of you hit the water, and then you find yourself in the air again. And then you hit the water, and then you're in the air again.
Yes.
And then you hit the water, and you're in the water.
What the shit was that?
What?
I skipped him like a stone.
Give me a perception check from Harsk. Hi, Johnny.
That would be 21.
Okay, so you also know somehow you kind of got your bearings, and you realize that you just automatically started kind of spinning as you were kind of bouncing off of the water. Now that you're in the water, you did get far enough that you're past the rock, the boulder, and you can just see straight down into darkness. There is a precipitous cliff that this lake is way, way deep, and it just drops off right here.
Whoa.
So the water, the drops off. The water is got a frigid streak to it. That's really disconcerting. How does Harsk feel about swimming in general?
I don't mind swimming.
Okay, so it's just kind of like that's cold because it's deep.
How's it like swimming with all that armor on?
Yeah, and I as I'm gonna let the dog out, I'm gonna need a swim check. So
I realized that after he said, "Now you're in the lake."
with your armor check penalty.
He's not gonna be Jesus.
Oh man. Man, I've been waiting for that to happen for so long, and I love, like, in story, Krieger had no idea that was even gonna happen.
Yep. So, what is our swim check?
Swim check.
I got, swim check was, unfortunately, just an 11.
Is that with your armor check penalty? I'll take your frozenness as a no. So, was that with your armor check penalty? You froze for a bit.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, what armor are you wearing?
I am wearing my, bootleg scale.
Scale mail. So, let me do it.
That's gonna add some weight to it.
Yeah, it's not so much weight as the ungainliness. So you got an 11.
In my mind, when I did this, I expected, he'd be Jesus at the end and just walk back.
Wait, Craig did a thing and the effect was not what he expected?
Yep.
Shocker! Luckily, it's not too bad. It's only a -4. And it's...
So you rolled a 7.
It's masterwork, so it's actually -3, so it's an 8.
8. So you're not sinking quite as fast.
Right, you are sinking, but not super quickly.
You're only underwater a little.
Can I perceive
Okay, at
that
least,
it's like been
as,
too
as,
long?
like,
Then...
as I'm sinking, I do make sure to at least, like, reach for what the cliff would be.
Sure.
Just in case I can't, like, actually swim.
That's reasonable.
I want to, like, make a, like, determined motion so I don't go in the pit of nothing.
Fucking drown Darth.
So, from the surface, the dwarf is tossed and just has this unnatural spin about him. It bounces off of his chest a couple of times and then just splashes. And you can see, as the water kind of clears, you see bubbles. Luckily, you still see bubbles. But he doesn't come back up right away.
Can I do a perception check on, is this normal? Is he swimming? Or,
He
should
just-
I fucking go?
Krieger just, skipped a dwarf twice. So, normal, no.
Okay. I want to sprint into the lake.
Okay.
If this is, a little hole, and he threw him, and he's further than that,
Sure.
right? Is there, a way I could, run on land a little bit more
Yeah.
and then, jump in?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to do that.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
then
you basically you skip across the shallows to get on top of the boulder.
Okay.
Um,
And then I want to dive in and then see if I can see him.
perception check. Krieger's just like,
17 plus...
You'll smell better now.
28.
Okay, so you can see, you can
roll a 3.
easily, you can see Harsk.
Okay.
The sunlight is still bouncing off of his back. He's only about 7 or 8 feet down.
Okay. I'm just going to try to swim towards him.
I'm not done.
Okay, never mind.
What both of you can also see is that there's a faint purple tendril of light that kind of is coursing through the darkness at the abyss of the lake.
How close is it?
Oh, it's like it's down a ways. It's not like it's not a tentacle reaching up for you. It's just a tendril
It's like
of light.
A whiff of stuff.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
it's just kind of
A current.
Like abyss?
yeah.
Okay.
Again, it's just made of light. And it's just a single one.
Can I do it? Well, I guess I can't do a detect magic down here.
Nope, because it's casting a spell that has a verbal component, and
Yeah.
you're not a Murloc.
All right. I wanna swim towards Harsk and like grab him. And
Okay, yeah, both of you can make swim checks.
All right. Yeah.
Alright, there we go. A 20.
I got. I don't have anything for that really, so it's just strength modifier, which is a 1, plus an 18, which is a 19.
That's good. So you can control your swimming enough to do whatever you need to. Harsk, what'd you get?
20.
Is that minus your 3?
That would be 17.
Okay. Luckily, it's not that difficult to swim in lake water, so you kind of regain control of yourself, kind of regain your senses. Your dizziness is starting to fade from the spinning, and you just start treading water. If you wanted to surface, you can. If you want to continue treading water and looking, you can.
I wanted to grab him and try to bring him up.
Okay, you do feel the muscle wizard grabbing you, but he's also swimming, so the muscles are used elsewhere. So you feel a hand on your collar, and that's about it. You guys can both do whatever you choose.
I want to actually surface and pop up. Yo, Mir, throw me back. Throw me back. That was so fun.
As soon as his head pops
Do
up.
it again.
I skipped you.
Do it again.
Nice. Yeah, we just go up.
I pop up and look at Krieger. I saw that. I know what you're doing.
I come up and I go, no, we're not doing that. Did you see the purple thing down there?
You both did.
Yeah, I know it. I don't know if he saw it.
I just want to confirm with him that he saw it.
I did, but it's not coming for me. So.
Well, yeah, but there's something down in the fucking lake. How far away was it
I
from
wasn't
me?
planning on going down there anyway.
Way down, right?
It's impossible. It's a tendril of light against blackness. You have no context. It was hard to get a depth perception on it.
Knowledge nature do anything for that?
That is not a natural occurrence.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can't do a spellcraft check on it because I'm not close enough.
Okay, big bubble.
I don't have that spell.
What kind of a prepared wizard are you?
One that doesn't have that spell.
It's reasonable.
You say that would have
But I know somebody who got us something like that before.
Bonesy.
Something going on in the lake.
It's fun.
We need to
Fun.
go down.
Welcome.
We gotta go down to the lake bottom, I think.
I'm not going down there.
You don't want to go down there?
I'm not going down there. My breath isn't. I can't hold my breath that long.
Fuck. Well, no, I'm not saying right now. We need to go into town and talk to Fizzbang. Fizzbang might be able to help us with some potions that let us breathe underwater.
Are there any caves or holes? I know. Are we near at all is the bridge that we usually cross the really sketchy one?
That's-
Is that anyone
That's up in the mountains.
Silverton.
Yeah, that's towards Silverton up in the mountains. We're the other way.
Okay, I was just curious because I know from there we were looking down
We're outside of
caves and
Bryn.
stuff. In
Yeah.
this area, is there anything that would lead us underground? Like in
You
this
have never been to
general
this little.
vicinity?
You've never been to this spot before.
Oh.
The road from Bryn went north away from the lake a bit. Like after you get away from the manors, it went north a bit away from the lake and then up into the mountains. You guys basically went straight out of the mountains directly to the lake.
Okay.
It was a bit rougher than just traveling on the road, but wanted to get to the lake. So there you go. But yeah. Grab the book I just dropped. And yeah, so you don't know if there are caves nearby or if there are caves underwater or what. You aren't familiar with this area.
Okay. Is that something I could do, like a survival check to see if there's like maybe something like tracks or maybe,
Sure.
something that could lead us at least maybe not all the way down, but somewhere down below the water level.
Sure.
Let's see. So that'd be 21.
Okay.
To try to find something. Go something out.
You do find some tracks that come down here from the woods nearby that likely use this little spot as a watering hole. It looks like bear prints. So likely some bear. If there's bears, there's probably caves somewhere.
Okay.
Speaking of bears, there's the bear here. There are no.
And you're attacked by a bugbear.
Attacked by another. Oh yeah, owlbears.
Roll initiative.
Owlbear.
Yeah, you find owlbear tracks. That's what they are. Hi, Charlie.
Owlbear.
All right. So there's something at the bottom of the lake.
There's a treasure.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
I do want to preface it though. The last time I went down there,
Swim
I
check,
found a
perception check.
skeleton, and that's actually where we found your Thord, Harsk.
Is it really?
Yeah, the skeleton dude was down at the bottom of the lake,
Which do you want first?
Oh.
but there shouldn't be anything down there
Swim.
anymore.
Swim. 23.
Nice. You successfully swim down
We
to
lost
that
you,
perception check.
Harsk. Are you still there?
Does it look like he's still there?
Well, I mean, I can see his face. He looks really confused.
12.
12.
Perception.
You can bear. It's
How'd you
hard.
guys get down there?
Hey, there you go. Sorry, you were cut out there for the last minute.
Repeat
Yeah.
the last 45 seconds.
No,
we
likewise from here.
we originally we floated down. We had gotten some potions from Fizzbang that allowed us air bubbles,
Oh.
so that we could go down there, and then we
It's hard to make out the purple light that you were looking.
and then we fought the skeleton down there. So that's why I'm saying we could potentially go into town real quick. So it's like a little walk that way, get some potential potions, and then head down again.
What is
I am more down for that.
what is
Yeah.
holding your breath based off of?
Constitution.
Constitution. So, can you expand further on that?
You get
Okay.
if you're not in trouble. I think that you get a number of rounds equal to your Constitution score to hold your breath.
And one round is
6 seconds.
6. Fuck, that's it? Oh, the score, not the modifier.
The score.
Oh.
Here, I'll be right back.
No worries. So you can hold your breath for quite a while. If you're in combat or get the wind knocked out of you, it's real bad.
Not as much as I was hoping for. I was going to grab a rock and just go.
There are plenty of magical things that allow you to breathe for longer.
Not on me.
So let me go to the swim check. You want to keep swimming downward?
No, I was going to grab a rock and have it drop me down.
You can still do that.
But I wanted to have more than a minute and a half. Or a minute 45.
Yeah.
To be exact. Another swim check would be 18.
Okay.
I didn't want to drown in my armor, so I put points in swim.
Nice. It's a good call. It's a very good call.
Oh, you suck at this thing because you wear lots of armor? Put some points in it, make it slightly less negative.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a rock I can jump off of?
Yeah.
Into the deep?
Yeah.
I do that with another rock
Okay.
to bring me down very, very quickly.
Nice. You do that. There's a gigantic sploosh.
What the fuck?
Sploosh.
Do I remember how deep the lake is? Roughly?
The where you were, I think it was 100 feet or more. Keep in mind that was a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
so it was deep.
What is the swim move speed?
You have it's half your regular speed.
Okay. I'll go down 100 feet.
You go down how far?
Estimate 100 feet.
Okay,
Holding onto the rock.
sure. You just continue to plunge. You plunge out of, just into further and further darkness. Give me a couple of perception checks.
Yes. 24.
Nice.
You want another one?
Yes, please.
22.
Awesome. So the first one, you start to see, or the plant life begins to change on this cliff face. As you get away from the sunlight, it becomes less grassy and more like clumps of some sort of plant matter. You can very clearly see several veins of purple and blue and a really faint green light just kind of emanating from something that looks like it goes back into the cliff face. So there's definitely a cave down there. What you also see with that second perception check, just enough, was that no, there is on the cliff face. You could see like a massive movement that's disturbingly large, creeping across the cliff face in your direction.
Nope. Nope.
You saw it with enough time, and granted, you don't have dark vision, so it's only about 30 feet away from you. But it's creeping towards you.
Can I stick my head?
He's down there.
100 feet
Well,
down?
I'm still in the water.
Yeah.
Like, as he jumped in, can I have at least just
You watch him kind of go.
go?
You see the trail of bubbles.
Okay,
still
but I don't
following him.
see him anymore, right?
No,
it's too dark.
he's past the cliff.
Flexing as I go down.
Yo, Mir, does your dancing lights work underwater?
Technically, but it's limited.
Oh, it does, totally works. They're just light. They're not fire.
Can I? Well, I have to cast them above water, but can I cast them and then like follow them down like towards the bubbles that I can keep track of and just send them straight down?
Sure. So a few motes of light, which helps you see this creature, come down as quickly as they can. They do stop well above you, but they do manage to kind of cast some additional white light on what seems to be a massive seaweed.
I can go 190 feet with those.
So wait, it's a plant-like creature?
It is.
Ah! Too bad we don't have anything that would work well against that.
The rest of the day should be nothing but plant-like creatures. Oh, you missed it.
Oh, you missed it. All the plant fights, man. Bummer.
Nice. You're holding your breath. That's fantastic. What do you want to do?
I see this,
Yes.
and I can tell that it's coming towards me.
Uh-huh.
How big is it?
Large.
Large size? And I can tell that I'm halfway out of breath. So I'd like to swim up at full speed.
Okay. Swim check.
You need to drop the rock.
Yes.
Drop the rock in the general direction of said creature,
Okay.
if I can. 23 swim check.
That's good enough. You swim at your speed twice.
I have 10 points of swim.
Nice.
Or, excuse me, bonus.
That's good. So you have a 30-foot move speed underwater. Okay. So you're now, say, 60 feet under.
Okay.
Give me a perception check. Mirrored perception check.
20.
15.
You're kind of somewhat dazzled by the light at the surface and all the movement, so trying to look back to see if it's chasing you, it's hard to tell. You're about to get right up against those dancing lights. That'll probably help a lot. Mears kept his focus down. Granted, the motes of light are somewhat nuking your night vision, but the creature is following him and catching up to him.
Shit.
Swim check. From both of you, actually.
How far down is the creature?
You don't know.
60?
Oh.
Okay.
Do ones matter on checks?
No.
Sweet! 11.
Cool.
13.
Nice.
I ask that every fucking week. I don't know why.
No, it's weird. There's a shitload of rules. It's understandable. Yeah. Ooh. That's a more fun idea, too.
Can I do a thing?
Yeah.
I had a 190-foot range with Flaming Spear. Can I cast Flaming Spear behind him? Like, right in the path of this thing that's chasing him?
You're underwater.
Well, I mean, can I pop up?
Ah.
I'm thinking I'm, like, right at the surface.
That's fair.
Really. Can I just pop up and then, like, aim it down?
Give me a concentration check, and I'll let you do that.
Okay. Do I add anything to concentration?
Yeah, your caster level.
My caster level?
Mhm.
16.
That's not bad. What's the spell level?
Flaming Spear is a level 2 spell.
Yeah, it works.
Okay. Sweet. That's what I do. I cast Flaming Spear in the way in
Okay.
between these.
Oh, nerd, you asshole!
So there's a burst of light and tons of bubbles. Just a ridiculous amount of bubbles just start surrounding Krieger. It's
At the very least, it's camouflage and
Does that make it
another.
harder to swim?
No. It's not harder to swim.
not for you. You're wide enough where it doesn't.
Okay.
You have a wingspan. God damn it! Shut up with Girthy. I'm never gonna fucking. It's not even the same goddamn group, and that shit still comes up.
What?
Nothing.
What the fuck?
Nothing.
God, I wish Nick was here.
Anyway,
Down with the thickness? Does that have anything to do with that?
no, that's just a funny pun I made.
Oh. Actually, there probably wouldn't be any bubbles or it wouldn't last very long.
That doesn't work underwater?
It can be extinguished by any means that would put out a normal fire
Okay.
of its size.
So, Meard, you would know this as part of a function of your
Yeah.
spell. So if you don't want to cast it, that's fine.
Let's go ahead and say I didn't do that.
Thank you for being honest about that.
Sorry.
I was like, fuck
I
it.
was
why
like,
not?
this is cool. There's like this boiling spit. No, that's not how it works. It would just extinguish.
Cast mountain, I'll get a giant seahorse.
Right?
That's so good.
Yes.
I guarantee when Nick listens to this, he's like, that's not how it works, Matt. Shut him the fuck up. Like 20 minutes later, it's like, no, we're good.
Can I instead fire a magic missile at it?
Yes.
Sweet. One magic missile at whatever is chasing him.
Roll some dice.
Sweet.
Nice.
5 plus 3 is 8.
Okay, 8. You did 8.
8.
Swim check from Krieger.
I'm gonna laugh when this actually turned out to be a big guy.
26.
It's brazen. Brazen at the bottom of the lake. Shit.
26 is great.
I put a shitload of points in swim.
Just for such an occasion.
I only put 1 point
Can
in
I
swim.
make out any discernible parts of this thing, or just that there's just this thing chasing him?
It's a massive seaweed-looking shit.
Put 1 point in swim. That gives me a 10.
Would I know
Holy
anything
shit.
reminiscent of what this might be?
Knowledge nature.
Oh.
I do want to do a knowledge nature check.
Yeah, you can probably see it by now.
It's 14.
21.
Okay. 21 Harsk, you can kind of it resembles a shambling mound almost, except this is aquatic. It's like
Okay.
it's like a lake-based shambling mound.
Shambling man.
Um,
Let me get a picture of it real quick.
but yeah, you don't know the specifics of this creature.
Okay.
But in the meantime,
What the shit?
what?
So he closed the door and made it so much quieter.
Yeah, it's because the AC is going.
Oh. Couldn't tell.
It's the intake's right over at the stairs. But yeah, so as Krieger swims up another 30 feet, twice,
Oh, okay. Got it. Never mind.
you are now 30 feet below the surface. The massive seaweedy, kelpy, gross water plant stuff puts on a burst of speed that is disheartening. Just very disheartening.
Have you been tracking the rounds?
There are no rounds, dude.
So it's been 3 since you were halfway through.
That's what I thought, but because it's going to matter here in a second, I think.
A lot. And it's going to try to lash out with a kelpy tendril at you and try to grab you. What is your CMD?
Delta?
Yes, please.
27.
Nice. 27 is really, really good. I got a 30 to grapple you. So, a large mass of seaweed and kelp. Not seaweed, lakeweed. And kelp.
You're not
Kind of-
wearing any armor, are you?
No, he's not. Which makes it good, but it's
Better.
It's better.
I don't have -4 to my swim check.
Right. Just kind of lashes around your legs and waist, and it holds you in place as the rest of its body kind of forms up like next to you and looms over you. You can see 2 pinpoints of orange that has some semblance of a face, or that makes up the semblance of a face that it has. And let's roll some initiatives.
That's not so. 15.
8.
9. Well, if I can get to you, I can cast Mage Armor on you. But I have to get to you.
You didn't touch.
You can cast a spell, hold onto it, and then get down there and touch it.
It's only 30 feet.
So,
Go down. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, right. Dick.
the fiend goes first.
Alright.
This is going to be fun. It's going to try to maintain its grapple and fully entangle you, entwine you.
My armor sucks.
35.
Without armor.
Oh no!
Is this our mount?
Look up a sargassum fiend. But it's very similar.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah, look up Pathfinder sargassum fiend. It'll show you. So yes, I maintain the grapple, and it's going to try to it's going to constrict you.
Oh, you just showed that.
Yeah.
Try to constrict me.
Yes.
Good thing I'm holding my breath.
Right. 24 points of damage
Fuck me.
as it begins to crush you.
What? 24?
24.
Fucking A.
It's okay, you dealt 8 damage to it already. You're fine.
Holy shit.
That's a lot of damage.
Yes, it is. And it's your turn.
Oh, okay.
This thing is... all you hear is crushing of your muscles, kind of wrenching of plant matter, and then water rushing through your ears.
So to break the grapple, I need to outroll my CMD. My CMD to outroll its CMD, right?
Correct. And or make an escape artist check that beats the CMD. It's up to you.
Let's go with CMB to break the grapple.
Do it up.
27.
Close. You managed to like wrestle free like one arm, and then it just kind of tightens back in. You were really close though.
Okay.
CMD is 30. It's rough. Mirrored.
Sweet.
You see Krieger and this fiend starting to wrestle it out 30 feet under the water.
How far away? They're 30 feet away?
They're 30 feet down.
Okay, can I, like, pop my head up and then cast a spell at it?
Give me a concentration check because you're swimming. Or you can just get up onto the rock.
No, I'll do a concentration. Let's
Okay.
get more.
It's nice here.
What do I plus the concentration? I'm sorry.
Cash level.
Caster level. Oh, okay. Then that is a 27.
Nice. Honey.
Perfect. I would like to cast Enervation at it.
Is it what? It's ranged?
It's a ranged attack.
Okay. What's the range on it?
25 feet plus 5
You're
feet
good.
for every 2 levels.
Okay.
You must make a ranged touch attack.
Okay.
So-
So roll an attack roll plus your base attack plus your dex.
Right.
You're shooting for a touch AC of 12.
Nice. Okay, so base attack bonus plus agility, right? Or,
Dexterity.
Sorry, dex.
Yes.
So 10 plus 4 plus 2, so 16.
You managed to hit it.
Perfect. So, I haven't used this one that much. So if you hit, the subject gains 1d4 temporary negative levels. So, that's 3 negative levels. Assuming the subject survives, it regains lost levels after a number of hours equal to your character's level, maximum of 15 hours, so 9 hours later he will get them back. Usually negative levels have a chance of becoming permanent, but the negative levels from Enervation don't last long enough to do so. So yeah, he's got -3 levels for 9 hours.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the first time I've successfully actually hit anything. with
Right.
it.
Wow.
Out of the 4 times I've tried.
Right.
That's so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, Krieger feels the grasp of this creature loosen quite a bit, and you can see that the tendrils and they're lashing you just kind of begin to wither with negative energy. Not a bad turn. Harsk, you are up.
That's really good.
You are armored.
Okay, how far away am I from Mirrored?
I don't know. What? You were like right there looking with him, so you're not that far off.
Yeah.
Were you swimming or were you
Okay.
on the rock?
I was up, I surfaced.
Okay.
That's the last of it, so. So I guess they're 60 feet down?
They're 30 feet down.
Well, I'll go, I'll try to swim. I'll try to swim down 20 feet, so.
Okay, swim check.
And then from there, yeah.
Swim check -3 with because your armor check.
That would be, 13.
That's enough to swim down.
Okay. And I'm not actually going to attack, but I'm going to use a rage power in Blair and just intimidate this guy.
Okay,
Because I can scream.
that's a good point. You cannot scream. Well, you can, but you lose all your air.
Yeah.
Mighty inconvenient.
It is inconvenient. The water around
Yes,
Harsk
okay.
heats up a little bit.
Ooh! That would be 13, 14
Nice.
to intimidate him.
So you're trying to glare at this creature into those little orange pinpoints of light. It doesn't seem to even acknowledge that you're doing it.
Alright.
It's hard to intimidate.
I would
intimidate
like
a
to
tree.
prepare an attack.
Oh, by all
Before
means.
it comes close.
Yeah. Cool. So it brings
Right.
us back to the fiend. It's got 3 negative levels. So it's going to try to maintain the grapple.
Oh man.
27.
Because it's got food. 27.
Just a
Roll.
reminder.
Actually, it would go down because levels.
It's the first time I've got to use the underwater.
I rolled the same as before, so I got a 27. Roll a 5. Got a 27. It's like this thing is designed to grapple things. So, it's going to try to constrict you again. And just squeeze the air out of you for 13 more damage. And it starts to descend. A little bit.
With him?
Yeah.
No.
Krieger,
I would like to break the grapple.
your lungs are beginning to burn.
Fuck, you're right. It's round 5. Fuck. I didn't break the grapple.
What'd you get?
Plus whatever my...
Plus your CMB.
Yeah, not enough.
Okay. Its CMD is different because it did lose some levels.
24.
24?
Yeah, wait.
8 plus what?
What's your CMB?
23. Shit.
What's your CMB? 16? 15?
CMB is 15.
15, so 23.
Forgot about the lower levels.
Yeah.
But
So,
still, 20.
its CMB was lowered by the negative levels, so it might not have been a lost cause, but you didn't quite make it. You're close again. Brings us to Meard. You see Krieger fighting as hard as he can to break loose of this thing, and it's beginning to drag him down. The bubbles that are erupting from his lungs are starting to kind of pop out more sparingly.
I was gonna say it. Can I use Unseen Servant to like bring a bubble down to him? But I can't because
Nope.
I know Unseen Servant can't go underwater.
Yep.
I could get down to you, but I couldn't get us back up because I can't speak underwater.
Swim down and give me a kiss.
No, I'd rather you die.
I'm okay. I'm good.
Do some James Bond shit. Also, that's not how breathing works.
Fuck. Okay, this is a really stupid idea,
I love those.
but I'm gonna do it anyway. Could I have a water skin. Could I dump that out and like bubble air that shit like into the water? Like
Yeah.
so that there's air in it,
Mhm.
right? Could I also cast a spell after doing that?
Yes.
I would like to do that, so I have a bag of air,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to cast Dimension Door to him.
I like it. That's a cool idea.
Yeah, the problem is I'm stuck down there because I can't Dimension Door out.
Right.
But
No, I like this
I
idea.
would like to bring this air sac
This
to
is a
him.
great plan. I'm excited to be a part of it.
I love this plan. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
And I'm gonna-
So,
It's always great to impress me.
with a burst of really hot water and almost a thunderclap, Meard appears. What are you wearing right now?
I've got my robe on,
That would
like-
be loud as shit.
Yeah.
but I've got the robe tied
Okay.
up so it's not like totally in my way.
Sure.
But yeah.
There's a blast of water as Meard apparates right next to you.
And I want to try to like grab him and.
That's
like,
too much.
Is that too much?
That's too much.
All right, that's fine.
You
As long
got
as I'm there.
to air bubble this or air water skin thingy, air skin,
No, totally.
and teleport down.
That's totally fine. Yeah.
Cool, I like it. That's a really cool thing. Harst, you are up. So, you see the same thing. It's about 10, 20 feet below you now. Because you went down 20 feet, it was 30. It went down 10 more feet. So 20 feet below you is a writhing Krieger and Fiend. Mir just into the water down there with you.
I will again.
This is all lit
I'll just go
dramatically
down
with dancing
10 more
lights.
feet.
Okay?
I'm not gonna attack it. It looks like Mir has a plan. It works. So I'm gonna try to do another intimidating glare at the creature.
That was the end of Mird's plan.
Mird's got a plan. I'm just gonna wait it out and see how this goes.
It's a tree, Patrick. I intimidate the keep.
Well, shit.
Well, if he wants to keep raging, he has to try to do something. So.
He's just building up his rage because what he's doing.
Well, no, this is me raging. I'm just failing at it underwater.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't get it.
Okay. Yeah, you get the impression that
for the rest of my rage.
This plant fiend doesn't really get social cues, so intimidation is not terribly effective on it. It's time for
that
the.
Was just pissing me off.
Just saying. Now it's time for the fiend to go. What CMD is 27?
Yes, sir.
That's a D12. I'm not gonna roll that. That might go in your favor. I'm not gonna roll a D12. I'm gonna roll an 8. So another 30.
Goes down another 30 feet?
No, that's
No.
what he rolled.
That's what I got for the grapple.
Oh.
One more constrict. 19 points of damage.
Fuck you.
Wow.
Another tendril lashes out at Meard.
Fuck. I knew that was gonna happen.
34 hits.
Yeah. Well.
Just saying. Just asking.
Yeah, that hit.
15 points of damage, and I rolled a 1 on the grapple. So
Nice.
you take.
So I take some damage, but I'm still moving.
Yeah, you take. What did I say? 15 points of damage.
15 points.
15 points of damage, but you are not grappled somehow.
Yay.
It grabs your foot, and your boot slips off.
Yeah, nice.
My favorite shoe!
Krieger, it's your turn.
I would like to break the grapple.
Yeah, you now see that Meard is under attack as well, so not only is it your ass on the line.
Can I tell what the
Oh, totally.
skin is?
Yeah.
Like,
It's not, it makes sense.
am I within arm's range of that air sac?
If you can break an arm free,
What do I gotta roll to do that?
CMB.
Nope. I rolled a 1.
You rolled a 1.
I rolled a
Oh, fuck.
1.
Okay. That's how that works. How many rounds of air do you have?
My con is 18.
Okay. You used half of it going down, so 9. This is round 6. You have 3 left.
Nice.
I would look at the core book or look up the rules for drowning, because it might come up soon. Meard, your turn.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Is he still within range for me to shove this thing in his mouth?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. But that's gonna be my turn, right? Shove this thing in
That's
his
a
mouth.
standard action to do that.
Yeah, actually getting it. Okay. I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
And that's it.
Roll a d6.
Roll a d6.
Mm-hmm.
2.
Add 2 more rounds of air to your lungs.
Alright.
That's better than 0. So yeah, you kind of squeeze the bladder and you see some air burble out, but he like adjusts and you see him inhale. His chest expands a little bit under the crushing weight of all this kelp. Harsk, your turn.
Alright, this is pissing me off.
Unless you wanted to
I'm
move.
just going
This
down and
means
smacking
suffocation?
him with my
Huh?
free club.
Suffocation?
Yes.
Okay. So, a character who has no air to breathe can hold her breath for 2 rounds per point of constitution.
This is also combat.
What was that? That was...
You can hold your breath for 2 rounds per point of con. When everything's
Okay.
calm. If you're taking damage, that goes down quickly.
Gotcha. All right. Let's
I'll
see
give you a
here.
couple extra rounds for the non-combat part.
Big black bar in the middle of it.
Right?
All right. Yeah, I go down. I smash this guy with my great club.
Okay.
Okay.
Right in the middle of the part I need to read.
Hang on.
It's gonna be.
Would 31
Hits. Yes.
Perfect. So that will be.
So underwater, you're gonna swing your club into this massive plant guts.
All right. That would be 10, 18 plus 6. What was that?
Is this with the sword or your club?
24.
This is with the
This
sword?
is the club.
Okay.
Club.
Okay.
Club. Yeah, I'm not.
24?
Risking the Thor in this. Yeah, 24.
Okay.
And with the Cornigan smash, I can actually try to intimidate him as a free action.
Okay, try that.
So.
That might work because you just hit it.
Up on this. Let's see, 18, 22 on intimidating.
You managed to club the thing right in the little facial area, and it does actually recoil. It looks like you kind of shook it a bit. So it has the shaking condition as, like, mean mugging it doesn't do fuck all, but hitting it in the face does.
How many more rounds do you have on top of the 2 I gave you?
5.
5.
Oh,
Okay.
5 total.
Okay. So
All right,
once
so I'll give you a couple, 3 more because of the
Sweet.
those when you were kind of just surfacing. Those weren't in combat.
when you are done, when you get down to when you're done with that, you have to make a Constitution check of 10, and then it increases. When you fail 3 times, you're dead.
Sweet.
And I believe taking damage also reduces the number of rounds.
Yeah.
By
And making standard actions will reduce the rounds by 1.
okay.
Okay.
So I take it back. So then, yeah, you're back to 5 because you tried to break the grapple 3 times. Those are standard actions. So you're at 5. It's rough. So that was Harsk. The fiend is gonna go. It is shaken. Krieger's released.
Nice.
Yeah. Swim like a motherfucker.
It is also going to try to slam the shit out of Harsk. Rolled a 16. So, what's your armor class?
16.
That's it.
Need to be.
You take 10 points of damage. What's your CMD? Doesn't matter. You are grabbed.
Oh, he doesn't
What's
have
your
armor.
Damn it.
I rolled a 15. This thing is ridiculous.
Your armor's
Double
only
check.
16?
You said 10?
10 points of damage, and you're grappled. So at this point, you've taken damage. What's your con score?
My con is plus. Or
No, what's your con
just
score?
the raw score?
Your raw score.
17.
17. So you were underwater for, this is the 3rd round, so 14. You just took damage, that's 13 rounds. Make note, 13 rounds of air that you have available.
Perfect.
Cool.
Right.
And you're grabbed. Hey! That was that one, that was that one. Okay. So, it descends another 10 feet. So now you're 50 feet underwater. But you're free.
Oh, so he's 50 feet underwater?
He and the monster are 50 feet under.
Ian survived.
Just hop up, get some air, come back down.
Yeah.
Oh, I will.
See you down there.
Krieger's turn.
I would like to rush up to the surface to live and breathe. Go ahead, fucking hit me.
Which armor class?
Oh, fuck, not 27. That's for sure. So 17.
Okay. It swings a tendril. It hits you in the lower leg. As it tries to wrap around, your foot slips 3.
Yay!
Oh, man.
So,
Take any damage
swim
from
check.
the hit?
Swim check.
30. 24 will do.
24 will do. You manage to, if you spend a standard action, you can get your usual 30 feet.
Alright, I want to get to that surface as fast as possible.
Okay, so you're now 20 feet below the surface. You have 3 rounds of air left.
Yep.
You might well survive.
Yep.
Maybe.
Oh, I will.
Would
I
like a
shouldn't say-
double move get you up to the top?
No, the double move got him to where he is. So, because
Okay.
you
I was
swim at
down
half
with
your
you.
move speed. Mirror, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm 50 feet below.
Yes.
Oh, you're down below 50? I thought he wasn't grappled.
No, yeah, you're 40.
He's
I'm
30.
40.
You're 40.
Well, I was wherever he was.
You were
in
at
the
40?
air.
When he gave you the air. We went
Okay.
another 10 feet down at 50.
Right.
You
Okay.
are correct.
So I'm
I know.
40 feet down. I can swim at.
Sorry to question you.
I can swim at half my move speed.
If
So it's 15 feet.
yes, you can. And you were not grappled because it rolled a 1. Does it have combat reflexes? Ah, shucks, it doesn't.
What the fuck is that?
It's the-
Underwater grumbling noise.
Yeah, underwater monster growl.
Creature's really hungry.
And male underground noises.
I love it.
Okay.
Johnny Peace.
I'm gonna need air soon.
Yeah, how many rounds do you have left?
I've been down here for 2 because.
Yeah, because you did a standard action.
So yeah.
So this was or your 3rd round right now.
Yeah, so this is my 3rd round. I have 12 more rounds for my con score. I have 15 for a con.
Sure.
I'm going to. How far below me is Harsk?
10 feet.
I'm gonna go up 15 feet,
Okay.
and I'm gonna. Can I use my? I don't have to speak to use my wand, right? There's no verbal component to that. I just cast it.
I believe the spell completion is a
It's a
typical
command word. Oh, okay.
Fireball!
Well, I can't cast anything under the water. Alright, I'm just gonna double move up as far as I can, so 30 feet up, so I'm
Okay.
10 feet from the surface.
11 rounds of air left. The dreaded 11 rounds of air.
If you can refill your sack of air,
Well,
because
yeah.
we're about to go back down.
Harsk, your turn.
Alright.
You
I'm
can.
gonna
You have 2
let's see what
options.
we can do here.
Well, first of all, 1 more round of air gone.
Okay.
You have 2 options. You are grappled. You can either attack with a natural weapon, like biting or something like that, or you can try to break the grapple with a CMB check, or you can do an escape artist check to break the grapple.
CMD is pretty high.
You said CMD?
You roll a CMB against its CMD.
Alright, I'll go ahead and try that.
Okay? You are raging.
Oh yeah, that's right.
+2.
I think at this level, sorry. You're locked up. Oh, he's still thinking. Okay. You're good.
22 with that.
22 to break the grapple. It is still shaken, which is great news for you.
Oh, nice.
And it's got a bunch of level reductions, which is great news for you. 22 is not enough to break the grapple.
Wow, this guy is brutal.
Yep.
Alright. Alright, cool. So that would be my standard action, right?
Yes, it would. That's 1 more round of air gone.
Full round of air.
Burbles out of your mouth into the surface.
And alright, yeah. I guess can I attack him a little bit with a natural weapon, or is that just
Your standard action was to try to break the grapple. It's like you're spending your time trying to break free.
okay.
So yeah, it's an either or thing. Unfortunately, brings us back to the fiend. Do I want to kill Harsk again that easily? No, I want to go kill the rest of the people. So it begins to surface. It's going to maintain the grapple on No. What's your CMD? Harsk?
My CMD
Yes.
is 29.
That's really good.
What the fuck?
But that's when I'm raging. So.
Yeah, that's when he's raging. He's really wiggly when he's raging.
Holy
Like,
shit.
it's like an angry 3-year-old. Grapple. Minus 2. It barely maintains its grapple. Barely.
Damn it.
So, you're going to take 25 points of damage.
Wow.
And one more round of air goes away, because it's squeezed out of you.
I am not doing so hot.
Meared was the last one to surface, so it's going to get an attack on Meared.
I haven't surfaced yet.
You haven't yet, but you were
But
close.
yeah.
You were the last one. You were the one that's deeper. Definitely hits you for 13 points of damage.
Yay.
What's your CMD? Never mind. You are grappled.
21.
I almost rolled a 21. You're grappled.
Yay.
So Harsk and Meared are grappled. Underwater.
Wow.
Luckily, you were only like 20
I am-
feet from the surface.
10 feet.
10 feet from the surface, so you're now still 10 feet below the surface. It's right there. You can almost reach it,
It makes it worse.
but you can't. Which brings us to Krieger.
I need air.
Swim check.
25.
You breach the surface. And inhale the most delicious and just satisfying lungful of air you have ever taken in your entire life.
How much damage was it? Sorry.
15.
13?
13.
13?
Sure, we'll go 13. I'm fine with it. It's not the damage I'm dealing that's going to kill Meared.
I know that.
I know. So, what would you like to do with your new lungful of air? And
How
your,
far away from the rock am I?
About 5 or 10 feet.
Can I go to the rock and grab a rock?
You can go to the rock.
Okay. I would like to go to the rock.
Okay. You go to the rock. Okay. Meared, your turn. You're grappled. 10 feet below the surface.
I can't do anything except try to break free.
Escape artist or strength, or CMB check. Well, negative levels are helping a lot, actually.
CMD check? Sorry.
See, you roll a CMB against its CMD.
Alright. CMD.
A CMD is just an armor class.
What's the CMB go?
20. I just rolled a 20 with my CMB as a 29.
Nice. That
You have a
Would beat it.
29 CMB?
Wow.
No, I have a 9 CMB and I just rolled a 20.
well done. So
That's so good.
Oh!
Meared manages to like
Muscle wizard.
Muscle wizard.
finding some of the tendrils weakened by the negative energy that you punched into this thing. You managed to kind of like half like use your robe to kind of wrestle through, and the other half to just kind of force through sheer force of will and muscle wizard.
You know what Beard reminds me of? Those neckbeard memes where it's like, where do you work out?
The library.
The library.
Books are heavy, man.
Right.
Someone's got to push all those ladders around.
Fuck.
So yeah, you managed to squirt free. You have that was your standard action. You still have a move.
I still have a move? If I move though, does he gets an attack, right?
Yeah. But you'll not be under the surface.
I gotta get to the top. I'm going.
Yep.
Unless he tries to grapple you again.
13 points of damage, and I cannot grapple you
Yeah, you can't grab
at the moment. I probably could, but we'll see how it goes.
He's got other arms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You can't do it.
Harsk, your turn, sir.
Alright. First question. I'm backtracking here. Sleeping in a comfy bed doesn't happen to give me more health, does it?
No,
Than a standard 9?
You did heal your full rest, and you actually had an entire. Or no, you didn't because of the combat. So no, you just healed your level worth of hit points for the night's sleep.
Heal for level.
You heal your level, and that's it for a night's rest. So
Okay.
if you're level 9, you heal 9 hit points.
Perfect. Well, shit. let's see here.
Agreed.
Alright, I guess first order of business is trying to break free from this grasp.
Got to break free!
Mirrored can do
I got to break free. Oh, please. Damn. 15.
Nope.
Can I, let's see, hold on here. Alright, so, that's my standard action,
Tis.
can I, oh man. I want to
Break free.
pull out my acid mushroom. I still have the acid mushroom.
Okay.
Oh, he's got the corrosive mushroom.
I want to put it, like, just touch him with it. Whatever.
Sure, you just like mash it into him.
Like the arm
So,
or whatever.
This turn you can manage to get them out. Next round you'll be able to mash it into whatever you want.
I want
You
to
should
put
eat the
it.
mushroom and see if you get bigger.
No, so with the move action you can manage to grab the mushrooms out of your pocket. Totally.
Okay, but it's a standard action.
Yeah, it's an attack to smoosh
got
mushroom.
you.
Yeah. But
Real quick, counterpoint to that. If I use is taking like a potion, a full standard action.
move to draw the potion, standard to drink the potion.
Got you. All right. Well, all right.
I know.
See how this goes.
I know. That was Harsk's turn. From up above everyone who's underwater, you see 4 splashes,
Oh shit.
and as 4 small green creatures plunge into the depths. One of them looking not unshark-like, as it...
Nasser.
Yeah.
Thing was the Nasher, wasn't he?
Simon.
Simon.
One of them immediately floats back up to the surface because he's not good at swimming. That was Ratface. Or was it just 3? There's Ratface, Thang is dead, so it's Thing,
Thing.
and Simon.
Simon.
Big.
What was the other one? Philip.
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 That's
right.
I remembered Philip. So yeah, Ratface floats back up to the surface because there's a goblin trait that your head is actually full of air and you kind of float.
Nice.
However, there are several daggers and teeth coming down to meet this creature. Simon is very effective at biting. Very effective at biting.
All these goblins are gonna die.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness the goblins are going to die. So, Simon swims down and grabs, or like with his face, grabs one of the tendrils holding Harsk in place and just wrenches it off. And there's like green ooze that just kind of begins to spread out in the water. Brings us back to the Fiend, who now is a very target-rich environment. He does have Harsk grabbed. He's going to try to maintain that. Does not maintain the grapple, so Harsk is let loose. Charlie.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Charlie, come on.
Charlie, out.
Go.
But I snuck my way in. But I was a sneaky dog. Did it have Mird grappled or not?
No.
Okay.
I broke the grapple and then I got to the
That's
surface.
true, yeah. So, let's see. I'm trying to decide how I want to do this.
Hell, you all
One
die.
attack is going after Simon. Rolls a 17. Simon takes 17 points of damage. Joe?
Yeah, Simon's dead. Pretty sure.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
they haven't leveled. They
Right.
can't level. They all have 6 health. So Simon's dead.
Because someone didn't take leadership. I'm kidding. Let's see. Another
one bites the
Yeah.
dust. And another one gone.
Yeah. I did try to maintain the grapple and failed, so that is that one attack. There's the other attack, so it's fine where it is. Krieger's turn.
I would like to look for the biggest rock that I can find.
Okay.
Grab it. Say, Mir, hold on. And I dive in, Superman style.
Okay.
Right next to where Mirror is, so
Okay.
he can grab me on his turn on the way down.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
To go back down.
Sure. With the lungs full of air.
Lungs full of fresh air.
Yep. Good. So, Mirrored, your turn. Krieger, there's a gigantic splash as Krieger with a rock plunges back into the depths.
Like this, Superman style.
Yeah, I purposely
down.
don't do that, and I instead take a moderate healing potion,
Okay.
which is, what is it, 2d8 plus 2?
3.
2d8 plus 3. Okay.
As I pass him, I think about Jesus.
Here's
So I heal for 9, so that's awesome.
something.
Could have did that on the way down.
Yeah, but I also need to be able to cast the spell. So I gotta stay up here. And that's all I can do, right?
Yeah, moving standard for
Moving standard
draw
for that.
and drink.
So I am staying right where
Okay.
I am.
Swim check to kind of tread water. DC's 5.
13.
You managed to tread water.
If you can hear my chewing, thanks, Funyuns. No, in these, I'm sorry.
Alright.
That was Mirrod's turn. Hark. Hi.
If I try to swim away, is it gonna happen?
There's a chance. It's also swarmed by goblins.
Alright, because I really need a heal.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna swim away if it's gonna attack me anyway. Yeah. I gotta swim up.
Okay.
I gotta swim up.
A tendril does lash out at you under the water, but misses. So you break the surface and get a lungful of air.
Oh, thank goodness. I want to take a potion.
Okay, so you managed to pull out. You put away the mushrooms, draw a potion.
Oh, say that again. Sorry.
So you managed to put the mushrooms away, draw your potion.
Yeah.
So next turn you can actually drink it, but you're free and you're out of range, which is great news.
I'll take it.
The 3 remaining goblins are going to try to further mangle this creature. Actually, the swim checks. Good.
Same password. Good will twice times.
Thing and Philip are going to try to stab this creature. Philip actually does. Need a D4. 5 points of damage as a crude knife just kind of slashes at the plant matter. And Ratface swims back down, tries to stab it, and just gets nothing. The critter is going to go down. No, I take it back. There's another splash. As the griffin jumps into the water.
Jesus.
Because it's hunting. Manages to swim down and try to bite at the creature. Manages to bite the creature. For 2 points of damage.
Yay. It'll be dead next round.
Probably. Yes, it's time for the fiend to go. Again, target-rich environment.
How about Aaron? Is it?
It's still at the 10 feet.
Oh, nice. Right there.
You are. So, it can reach you. It can reach you. It can reach the griffin. And the 3 goblins. So that's 6.
It can reach Harsh too, right?
So Harsh broke the surface. He is out of range. He broke free, or it failed to maintain the grapple, and he squirted loose, and now he's out of range.
Oh. So the surface is out of range?
Yeah.
I'm still at the surface.
You're 6 feet tall.
Oh.
Okay, well, no,
I'm
that's
still
fine.
in the water.
That's fine.
But
So you're not in range. You're in range.
I'm a me.
Yeah. So. It's a 6. So it's going to submerge more. It's not holding on to anybody, but it's going to submerge a bit more.
Run and hide.
A little bit. Krieger, your turn.
So I've been diving down with my rock.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to
Okay,
bash
sure.
it with the rock.
Go ahead and make a melee attack roll. So base attack
Melee.
bonus plus strength.
So, 13.
Okay. You bludgeon this thing with a rock, but it doesn't seem to do any damage. And the rock falls into the depths.
Can I do my second attack?
Sure.
Punch him in the fucking eye.
Okay.
That is much better. Base attack bonus plus strength.
Mhm.
15 plus 19.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Alright. I don't know what kind of damage it does, though. Fair hand?
It technically should provoke, but fuck, I don't care. It would do a D4. Yes, D4 plus your strength.
2 plus 6, 8 points damage.
8 points of damage.
Nice.
Cool. So you get a good punch into one of those little orange motes of light that is its eye.
With the rock, I didn't add my base attack bonus.
You should have.
I should have.
It's substantial. Cool. That was Krieger. Mirrored, your turn.
what are the logistics of firing a fireball in water?
It doesn't work well.
Okay. Then,
Lots of steam.
with that, I am going to recall. I'm going to use my bonded object to recall Innervation,
Okay.
and I'm going to cast it again.
Cool.
So I need to do a ranged. Wait, how far away is he from me?
It sank down a lot. It submerged a lot on its way down.
Is it? Let's see. What was Innervation? It's 5 feet per 2
Yeah.
levels.
It
So that's
25 plus 5 feet per 2
so
levels.
yeah, it'd have to
It's
be
in
40.
range.
Is it?
Mhm.
Okay.
You were level 2.
Natural 20
Nice.
on the attack roll.
No. So roll to confirm.
So 22. 7.
Okay. So roll your whatever for the negative levels.
Alright.
And how long does that last?
Every hour for my.
Was it 1 hour for the last cast level?
last. So that's another -4 levels for another 9 hours. So it's a total of 7 negative levels on the creature. For
That's
9
awesome.
hours.
That's really good. That is really, really good. So this thing begins to wither, and you see like black rot begin kind of ooze out of it and kind of permeate the water around you. This thing's angry. That was
Fuck
that.
you, thing. Can I move to like the boulder, like so I
Yeah,
can out of
totally.
the water?
Yeah, you can actually get to where you're actually on like
Some
knee-deep
surface.
water.
Perfect. That's all I want. I just want to be kind of standing now, if I can. Yeah, and that's it.
Cool. Harsk, your turn.
I've totally drinking my potion,
Do that.
and that's really exciting.
You can also get to where you're standing on the ground.
I say what?
If you want, you can also get to where you have feet under you instead of water.
Yeah, I do want to be out of the
Okay.
water. Let's see here. The minor potion is 1d8.
1d8 plus 1.
Plus 1. Cool. Alright. Let's see. Anything more else that I can. It's worthwhile. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't really do anything else. I'm good.
Okay, cool. So that was Hearth's turn. So, the goblins surface, and the griffin surfaces. Except for Thing.
No.
Thing is not surfaced. Krieger, you can see that Thing is struggling to swim. And is sinking. We're back to the critter. Critter is going to swim up to both Thing and Krieger. Roll some attacks. Somehow Thing, despite struggling to swim, is struggling enough to dodge all the tentacles. Krieger, 32 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, sorry, no. -7. 25 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. I have no armor on.
Okay. I wanted to make sure. 16 points of damage, and the grapple check is...
Where you at?
33. It's officially the lowest I've ever been, I think.
on the way down, at least. You've been that low before on the way up.
Hit point tassel. Hit point.
No.
Yeah, he's talking about while you were leveling.
While you were level 2 and 3, you were lower than that.
Right. Krieger was never level 2 or 3.
Oh, yeah.
Started off with like 6.
Oh, that's
I
true.
was gonna say, yeah.
Good point. What's your CMD?
27? Yeah, 27.
Nice.
Nice.
It does not grapple you. It really tries. It grabs you all the same places it used to before, but it is withered enough from the negative energy, from the enervation, that it can't actually grip. Which is great news for Krieger, whose turn it now is.
Would Krieger be able to constrict it?
If you can, yeah, if you grapple it, you can. Constricting is a special attack, but you can grab it and pin it.
Okay, never mind. I want to punch him in the face.
Okay.
Never mind, I want to punch him in the face.
12 plus base attack bonus is what the fuck is it? 25 or 27. Sorry.
27 hits.
That was a D4. You said.
Nice.
Yes, D4 plus your strength.
9 points of damage.
Very nice. Another fist into the kelpy bosom of the Sargassum fiend.
I'm pretty sure I hit again. I rolled an 18.
That'll hit.
Base attack bonus a 9. Ooh, rolled a 4. So 10 points of damage.
Very, very good. Getting some good decks in there. Mirror, it's your turn. How many rounds of arrow do you have left?
I've only been down for 2 now.
So 4 down. Because your standard action also uses...
Yeah, a standard action uses one of your things.
Is it a standard action or an attack as well?
It's just a standard
Okay.
action.
So you'd be down 4.
So you're down 4 because, yeah.
Then I get how many? 1 per con?
Yes, con score.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's twice your con, but you've been using
Yes.
2 every round, essentially. Like, so if you did sat there and did nothing,
So
you'd
it's
only
1
use
every
1.
2 con.
2 every 1 con. So
2 every 1
if
con.
you have an 18, so you should have 36, which then you've been using 2, so 32.
You have 36, but you've been using 2 every round. So it's essentially you're using 1 per round as you do stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
So
32-ish.
I was gonna say call it 28,
Okay, that works.
just to be
Conservative.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. That was Krieger Mird's turn. We're standing in water.
Alright, Karski's up. 2 of the goblins are up.
The griffin's up.
Uh-huh.
Griffin's up.
The Griffin is up, so we've literally just got Thing and Krieger down there.
Mm-hmm. And Simon.
Dead Simon. Okay, so with that, I am going to... I'm gonna magic missile the creature.
Pew, pew,
With my
poo,
wand.
poo, 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 poo.
Nice. Classic.
Not bad. That's 13.
Damn.
2 4s and a 2.
Hey.
13, 16. It's really good. It's really good.
And I'm not gonna move, so I'm not gonna do anything.
Okay. So, here's what's going to happen. Arska's going to go. Because it's your turn.
Alright. I literally, yeah, no, there's no way I can make it back down there just yet. I'm gonna heal for another round.
Good call.
Use my rage power, renewed vigor.
That's awesome.
Alright, perfect. It's a little bit better. We're getting there. And yeah, that's a standard action. I guess, yeah, there's not really much more I can do beyond that.
Cool. So, Krieger, underwater, you are currently not grabbed, which is great news. However, the fists that you are punching into the core of this thing,
Yep.
as you're looking at it, getting ready to line up your next strike, there's a lot of movement underneath all of the kelp. Like, enough of the kelp has withered away, where you can just see this wriggling kind of mass that begins to separate. Give me a perception check. And a swim check.
I swear, if it's a school of fish, like
Perception
covered in seaweed.
is 12. Swim check is 14.
So, you are not grappled, so you get to make the decision. But it looks like this thing was... Or it looks like because of the state of this thing, there may have been like a nest of leeches living inside of it that is now broken loose. And there's now kind of a sort of a leech swarm kind of a thing going on.
Oh no.
We've got like nesting doll monsters and shit. What the fuck? It's so great.
What would you like to do? Thing is still struggling to swim next to you, but luckily not getting hit. Actually, I forgot to roll.
We've killed one monster, yes, but what about second monster?
I was just waiting for half to happen.
Right? This is so great.
I'd like to smash them if I can.
The leeches?
Yep.
You're very big leeches, right?
It doesn't quite work like that. I like where your head's at, but you clapping is not yet an area of effect spell.
You gotta be hoping to pull that shit off.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
You're not there yet. Give it 5 levels, probably.
Run, dude. Run.
Not worth it, man. Not worth it.
How many leeches?
Swarm.
Hundreds.
You got your answer.
It's a big fucking creature, and leeches are big.
I swim up and get thing or tiny.
These are regular sized leeches.
Oh, yeah.
There's a shitload of them.
Oh, okay.
I swim up and get the goblins, both of them, on the way up.
Okay. The dead one and the live one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we can make that work. So yeah, you grab Thing by the leg, you grab Simon by the mouth, and just pull him up. You just kind of throw Simon up into the shallows, and he just lands with a splash and thud. Thing is choking. You guys are still knee deep in where you can stand, so it's like chest deep for Thing, and he's just like hacking up water, but he's alive. The griffin is like kind of retreated back up to the rock and is like preening it, trying to dry off and shake because it didn't understand that water is not a thing it goes to. Like the goblins did it, I'm gonna go hunting too. No, this is terrible.
Krieger is going to completely ignore everything. Guys, we have to go back down. I found the cave.
I'm gonna yell at Krieger as he says this and go, "Fuck you! You dumb bullshit! A jumping in the fucking lake almost got half of us killed!" And then I turn around and walk out of the water.
There's a large splash as the creature surfaces.
Great. Then I'm running out of the water.
As the creature surfaces, the surface of the water kind of takes on almost an oil slick type of state as all of the leeches find the surface and begin to swim out from it.
So it was just his turn. Do I get to cast anything?
Next week you can.
Ah.
Oh, no!
Alright. That's fine.
No!
You're on the surface now, motherfucker! I can cast shit!